Growing up in rural Michigan, I was used to a life of solitude and endless fields. If you enjoyed staring at trees and crops with plenty of alone time, it was the place to be. As soon as I had a car and enough money, I left. I'm not a nature hater, but I'd pick city life any day. My parents sold the property 5 years ago, but back then it was a sprawling 3-acre lot with a big house and a storage building out back. I was 13 when it happened. My parents often left me alone, trusting me because I matured young and managed responsibilities around the property. It was a weekend, and I was deep into playing Vice City on my PS2 when a sudden, loud metallic bang echoed from outside. I immediately ran to every window, scanning the yard. Nothing seemed amiss until I got to the window overlooking the storage building. The door was wide open. Heart pounding, I grabbed the rifle from the closet and headed outside, shouting, "Who's there?" Silence. I approached the storage building, announcing my gun, but got no response. The place was filled with hiding spots, from the sit-down mower to the quads to countless lawn care items. Even though I wasn't easily scared, an unsettling feeling washed over me. I shut the storage door and rushed back inside, locking the house door and keeping a vigilant eye on the building from the window. That door was heavy. It couldn't have opened by itself. Someone had to be there. I decided to call my dad. I dialed the landline, but he didn't pick up, so I left a voicemail. This was before texting was common. I returned to my vigil by the window, turning on a TV show for background noise. Just as I was about to give up, I heard creaks from upstairs. My heart leaped into my throat. Was I overreacting, or was someone really here? Despite my fear, I had a fierce sense of duty to protect my home. I grabbed the rifle again and crept upstairs, silent. At the top of the stairs, I turned on the hallway light. 5 closed doors faced me, 4 bedrooms and a bathroom. The creak came from my parents' bedroom. Kneeling, I peeked under the door crack. 2 bare feet stood on the other side. My stomach twisted in knots. This was real. I wasn't ready to confront, let alone shoot someone. Panicking, I rushed downstairs and hid in the bathroom to call my dad again. No answer. I left another voicemail, then called repeatedly. Desperation mounting, I finally dialed 911, whispering my situation to the operator. She told me to stay put and silent. Moments later, footsteps descended the stairs, stopping outside the bathroom door. My heart raced as a deep voice said, "What's up, kid?" The words and voice are etched in my memory. Terrified, I shouted, "I'm on the phone with the cops and I have a gun." The operator's voice on speaker reassured me, asking if I was okay. The intruder tried the door, found it locked, and then walked away. I listened to his footsteps fade, then a door slam, the back door. Relief washed over me as I waited for the police. When they arrived, I felt like a weight lifted off my shoulders. They searched the house and confirmed the man was gone. They suggested I stay elsewhere for the night, so I went to my uncle's house. When my dad turned 50, he fulfilled a lifelong dream and got an African gray parrot. He had always loved parrots, so it was no surprise when he named the bird Kevin. Dad taught Kevin a whole vocabulary of words, even training him to understand meanings behind certain phrases like hello, what's up, food, thank you, good, and more. When Dad passed away at 70, my siblings and I had to decide what to do with Kevin. Neither my brother nor my sister wanted the responsibility, and their spouses were against it too. I couldn't bear the thought of giving him away. Kevin was a living piece of my dad, his best friend, and my last connection to him. So I took him in. I placed Kevin's cage in the den, the lowest level of my house since there was no basement. Kevin was a moderately noisy bird, often a chatterbox in the early hours, but quieting down by nightfall. If he got too loud, I'd throw a blanket over his cage, which usually did the trick. I kept him company by watching TV in the den at night. Then around 10 p.m., I'd head to bed, letting him sleep. I'd been caring for Kevin for 2 years, and I knew his behavior well. So when he started making noises one night in December around 11 p.m., I knew something was off. I sleep with my door open, needing to hear if anything unusual is happening in the house. Kevin's squawking so late was beyond unusual. It was alarming. I went down to the den to see what was bothering him. He was wide awake on the lower perch, saying things like, "Hello, what's up?" in his own name, all while nodding and moving his body like he was dancing. I tried feeding him, but he didn't eat. Covering him with the blanket didn't help either. As I stood in the kitchen, still hearing his distressed sounds, I knew I had to do something. I couldn't afford to lose sleep with work the next day. I uncovered Kevin again, and he was still dancing and making his noises. That's when I thought I heard something in the pantry closet near his cage. My heart pounded as I walked over to it, hovering my hand over the light switch. The pantry door had a big glass panel, and when I flicked the light on, I saw the outline of a body inside. My fight or flight response kicked in, and I chose fight. I screamed to get my adrenaline rushing, yanked the pantry door open, and grabbed the man inside, throwing him to the floor. He tried to fight back, but I overpowered him, putting him in a chokehold. He was a homeless-looking man in his 50s, reeking of the streets. I shouted, "Who are you? Why are you in my house?" He clawed at my face, but I tightened my grip, punching him to keep him subdued. All the while, Kevin went berserk in his cage. When the intruder seemed weak enough, I sprinted for the nearest phone, called 911, and kept the man pinned down until the police arrived. They took him away, but he had no ID, nothing to his name, just a homeless man with nothing to lose. He had raided my pantry, opening jars of peanut butter, boxes of cookies, crackers, and other foods. If it weren't for my dad's parrot, who knows what else he might have taken or done. I'm grateful for Kevin. I like to think that part of my dad is still watching over me through him.